ting ting.
Good day, good day, good day.
Good day.
Hey.
It's not raining.
Oh, well, it is a little bit. Look, it is a little bit.
True. Hasn't been raining, shall we say.
We should have made a brew here, Michelle.
We just had one in that while ago.
We did.
So we can't have one.
So, hello everybody. Hello. If you're coming in later,
Did you
good
turn,
out. I've got to wear the Oh, hang on.
Did you turn that one on?
Oh, I did. Let me just plug in.
Plug in.
Get the
Who
sound.
is that?
Just see if that's bouncing, Michelle. The sound.
Hi Sally. Hi Nigel. Oh, I can't see. I have to go the way round.
Just check if my microphone is on and just bouncing away. Hello, hello, hello.
Yes.
So is that coming through clear? Sally, was that Sally who was in?
Sally, yes, and I think it was, did I say Nigel?
Karina, hello.
Karina. Is the sound
Nigel,
good?
is the sound good? We've just gone over to the to Mike here.
Yes.
Good.
Good.
Well, what a few days. Clearer than usual.
Oh, good.
That's because I've got Mike.
Mike's back.
Mike's on backing me up.
But bit more organised.
Oh, excuse me, I'm going to cough.
Oh.
A little bit of COVID. Excuse me.
Hi, Mandy.
Hello, Mandy.
There you go. Put Mike back on.
So, what a few days walking. A lot of walking. We've done some of our biggest walking days to try and get ourselves. Well, firstly, we wanted to get onto the canal network rather than be on the boggy Pennine Bridleway or Bridleway. Now, Michelle and I have a theory that walking on canals is flatter than walking over hills.
Yeah.
It's not a proven theory, but it's one that we've decided. And so far, we walked down. We came out of that last town we were in and followed a little bit of the Bridleway down to the canal network, down to Jogle, I think it was, and what was the town with the locks? Marple. Miss Marple. And we've been on the
good evening, Old School and Pebbles.
Good evening. We've been on the Macclesfield Canal network and walking really well because it's flat. It's flat as a pancake.
And not really boggy. Occasionally muddy, but not boggy.
So we've managed to do sort of more than our 30 kilometres each day. Even today we're shattered. We've walked like a pair of clockwork oranges. For my feet are sore today.
Yeah, my feet. One foot.
The day is getting towards the end. So I hope you're all well. And yes, so this is canal side. Behind you can see a canal. Really quiet.
Yes,
nobody's here.
Here.
It's remarkably quiet. I don't know if we get further down whether there'll be boats, but even the boats that are on the canals are not navigating that much, are they?
No, not a lot. I suppose that you could say time of year. It's getting to the end of boating season. Because I think 1st of November they go into winter mooring.
Okay.
I was reading about that.
So, sorry, when I look down, I bet it gets loud. I better keep my glasses out in case I have to read. But I can read without them.
You can read.
So, we were going to start this video today with a little bit of a sort of introduction to us, and then we were going to cut it down download it from YouTube and re-upload it with just this little talking bit, because I haven't put a video up on YouTube. I've just been live videos for the last 2 months. So I noticed on my video playlist, it's still showing that we're in Turkey. So, but I think you followers that are watching know that we're not in Turkey.
But you keep talking about doing a little video.
I keep filming. Hi, Amy. I keep filming little bits, thinking I can do a little video for the channel, but it's really hard to edit anything. So we thought we'd start something like, "Hi, we're Steve and Michelle Owens, and we're currently walking." But you can't just look sideways at me.
That's the thing. You see, now it's not going to work.
No, it won't work because you come and sit here a little bit. Bring your silver along with you.
Hi, Susan.
G'day, Susan.
I can't do
no good if I've just got you looking, just a nose pointing at me from the side. So, g'day. We are Steve and Michelle, and we're walking 2,000 kilometres from John O'Groats to Land's End across the whole length of Great Britain because we're locked out of Australia and we can't go home, and we thought we might as well do this.
We needed something to do, didn't we?
Absolutely. So So you get it. I would cut this out, this bit, and upload it. So
I said it's a bit too much pressure.
too much work. But anyway, let's carry on. Let's try.
Let's try.
I am really proud of Michelle. I can tell you, she has walked an absolute trooper. We've walked over mountain ranges and bogland and marshland. And stop looking at me.
Well, you're talking.
That's the audience.
You're talking about me.
I don't care. That's the audience. We're talking to these people here. If you keep looking at me, I have to keep cutting it.
Do you? Yes, thanks, Tim. We are looking rested. See, I knew it wouldn't work.
It won't work if I sit here like this all the way through it. So I'm really proud of Michelle. We've walked over 1,200 kilometres of this journey so far, and she's been a real trooper. She's been beside myself. She's been beside me all the time, supporting me 100%. We support each other, and she's been a real trooper. She really just digs deep when we're doing the big long walks across some of the most appalling terrain you've ever come across, through some of the worst weather conditions that this country has to throw. We've been down to -1 degrees on top of mountains, ice on the tent, and we just kept going. So I'm really proud of you.
Oh, thank you. And I love doing this walk with you because you pull me along. You make sure that we're sort of going on the right route, making sure that we're going the right way. You make me coffee every morning.
I do.
And you make my food, so we're well fed. So we've got energy to keep going. And yeah, it's good to do it together. I think, we wouldn't be able to do it without each other.
Now, we're wild camping the whole of the journey because we can't really afford to stay in hotels and B&Bs and the likes. It would be just too expensive. So in order to save costs, we've wild camped 99.9% of the journey, and we're still continuing to wild camp this journey also. And I think it's been through the support of some of our followers on YouTube that have sent us donations through PayPal and our Patreons on patreon.com that have helped us. It really does mean a lot. Those of you that have been able to support us with any financial advice, financial contributions, it really does help. So what else would we do? We can have a little pause there.
Yeah, see, have a little pause.
So if you haven't been following the journey so far, we've still got approximately 700 kilometers left to do, so a big chunk. You can follow us here on YouTube, Instagram and Facebook at Steve's Kitchen. On YouTube now it's Steve Owens, but you'll also find me under Steve's Kitchen. I hope you have the chance to get involved and talk with us and try and encourage us on this journey. We are getting there. The weather's getting grimmer and grimmer.
And you're filming a lot of it along the way, so that hopefully at the end of this we'll have actually quite a nice series of our complete walk.
Yeah, we're trying to compile a
the
series. There's a ridiculous amount of data that I filmed, so hopefully we'll be able to do a little bit of a documentary type series. So that's what I was hoping to do. I don't know whether we'll do it.
So hi Cheryl. Yes, we are dry and doing well. And who else was there? Because if I put my finger there, it's going to cover it because the camera's that side.
Okay, so
AJ Norfolk Nomad, afternoon guys. Mandy,
afternoon.
Mandy says you both look so well. That's because we're dry.
COVID. We are.
We've had a good few days, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had a good few days.
We rested and rejuvenated after our little break.
We're actually doing this a bit under duress because we're both a bit tired, to be honest. We've walked really from early this morning.
Thank you, old school. Yes, don't forget to hit that
thumbs up for us. Give us some support. That really helps. It makes Michelle very happy. It annoys the hell out of me, so just hit the thumbs up.
Come on.
What else was I going to say? It's getting cold again, isn't it?
When the sun comes out,
it's so wintry, this country.
I know. When the sun comes out, it has been nice, but it is, the leaves are off the tree. We're walking through leaves.
Deep leaves, kicking leaves.
Yeah, which is quite nice.
I've forgotten, my family, we're originally from this country, but I can understand why we don't live here. It's too cold. It's cold, and it's even now in, what month are we now?
October. So
it's wintry. It's wintry. It's like you're walking and kicking sort of dead leaves, and there's a chill in the air. It's only about 3 o'clock or so, maybe.
I don't know what time it is.
I don't know what time it is, but
whatever.
already it feels like it's going into a sort of winter's evening.
So Jan Wilson, that's Janet, who we met, said she's meant to be working, but good to see us.
Good day, Jan. Get back to work. So, what else were we going to say, Michelle?
Yeah, I don't know.
We're hopefully going to be going through tomorrow Stoke-on-Trent. We're a little bit cautious and wary about it because we've not really walked through a big city before. So for those of you that are following us geographically on the map, we're going to try and follow the canal, the Mersey and Trent and Mersey Canal,
yeah, Trent and Mersey
down
Canal.
through
Stoke-on-Trent.
Stoke-on-Trent, right through the heart of the city. So that's going to be tomorrow's exercise.
On the potteries, said Mandy.
On the potteries.
Somebody else mentioned
Yeah,
it.
we
don't know anything about this. We just know that the canal goes through Stoke-on-Trent. It looks like it'd be a good walk. I know we're not good about sort of going through cities, but I think going through on the canals would be kind of cool. A bit different from walking on the canals here.
Yeah. So and also then when we come out, so tomorrow we'll be hopefully in Stoke-on-Trent. We get through the other side. We're this side. Somebody's asking. I don't know how far down Stoke-on-Trent is. Sometimes we think it's an hour's walk, and we start walking, and it's 3 hours walk. But we're getting closest. There's probably another town or two before we get there, but we're going to really try and dig deep tomorrow and get all the way through the city. The next town that we're heading to, Hey Ruru, is so that's. Is that Jan? Was that Jan asking that?
Yes.
So that's all I can say at the moment, Jan. I'm not geographically 100% sure, but we're canal side, as you can see by the canal behind us.
Stoke-on-Trent, that's all we know.
And then we get to a town called Stafford. Is it Stafford?
Yes, I think.
And we should be looking at trying to pick up well, we've seen a map on the canal side that shows we might even be able to make more canal walks.
Because we thought maybe we'd have to do the Staffordshire way.
That's what we're planning.
That was our planning.
We planned it, salut. We plan to pick up the Staffordshire way. Firstly, we were going to pick it up above Newcastle. Not Newcastle.
Stoke.
Newcastle is what we bypassed to get down to here, and we've come down. So before Stoke. And now we see it rejoins up below Stoke as well. So we're just enjoying walking the canals. We're getting so much more distance covered. And somebody, look, has left a little tiny train on our table.
Yeah, because there is a train line near us. We hear the train go by.
How cool is that? It's a little toy train. I'll leave it. Some child might
come back. It
might come along and
playing with it.
Take that. So
someone was asking when we hope to get to Land's End.
Tomorrow. That's when we hope to get to Land's End.
700 k's, we reckon?
Oh yeah, if Rick's watching, our friend Rick, I did a usual sort of random Google, and I think we're only a couple of 100 kilometres from Swindon or something around there.
It didn't seem that far.
Gosh, it seems we're really we're proper into the south of England. Well, not into the Midlands.
Yeah.
No, we're still in the Midlands.
Yes.
We've still got Birmingham. We've got Birmingham to get to.
Yeah.
The route that we're taking now is a lot more direct.
Yeah.
You know, it's like when we were up in Scotland, it seemed to be like we were like a pinball, just bouncing about Scotland, trying to get our way down to the bottom. But since we've come,
we've been doing your route rather than following everybody's paths that they say this path or this way, and it seems to sort of go S shaped.
Everyone keeps saying, you got to do the Peak District. And Ben, I know you said about doing the Peak District, my friend, and we would have loved to do it, but Peak sounds really high to me.
No, it's not near France. Très Jolie. It's in England.
Is it near France? No.
No.
Not.
No.
No.
L'Angleterre.
L'Angleterre. Avant, j'ai vécu en France. So
we were talking about the Peak District.
I've been planning routes much more direct, so that we're actually doing a much more direct route. The worry about that was that we'd end up going through big cities and towns, which is the case, of course. You wouldn't grab my jacket, will you? It's getting. Are you going to put yours on?
I will.
We're just going to warm up a bit because when I'm walking, I'm probably the only person in England just walking in a t-shirt, and people look at me like I'm absolutely nuts because I don't wear this fleece at all. I just wear the one t-shirt layer, and because I don't get cold. But when I sit still, I realise it's probably only about sort of 7 or 8 degrees at the moment, and it's pretty cold. And there's some black clouds up there that are threatening to drop us some rain. So so we're going to put on our fleeces. Who's in, by the way, and who hasn't hit the thumbs up yet? Come on, 24 I can see watching.
And where are you?
And where are you from?
Oh, that's a bit better.
That's a little bit better. I have to put the sleeve up, pop the hood up,
Ooh.
get myself nice and snug.
Yes, zip up.
I'm really annoyed with myself. You know what happened? You know, we stopped in the hotel there, luxury that it was. Well, I think when we had that breakfast, I put a packet of butter in my pocket, would you believe? Just to sort of take back to the room, because I thought we would have use of some butter. So I had one of those little square blocks of butter, completely forgot about it. First day walking with the jacket on, I put my hand in my pocket. Oh, melted, dripping butter. So all my jacket was leaking butter.
Actually, it's not too bad. You cleaned it up.
No,
well,
I cleaned
actually.
it pretty well.
Yeah.
But that is so
There was
annoying.
a couple of so Jonathan from New Hampshire.
G'day,
Just
Jonathan.
on Arizona, where it's still 100 degrees. I'm ready for some colder weather. That's Cheryl.
I want warm weather. I want 100
Mandy
degrees.
says, will you be home for Christmas? Oh no, will you be in the UK for Christmas? No,
we're planning to be back in Australia for Christmas.
And Mandy says, I'm in Largs, North Ayrshire, Scotland. Nigel says, I'm about 25 miles west of your current location.
25 miles west.
And Tim says from Washington.
Okay.
Washington State.
State.
Brenda is a Scouser living in, I couldn't see anymore. Scouser living in Northwest Florida. Where are you now, Stephen Michelle?
Now, each one of you have said where you were. Please make sure you hit that thumbs up as well, just to irritate me.
So that was somebody was a, oh, that didn't work.
Now that just taps. You've got to drag it down, then you see the blue sign, and then you drag that.
So Old School and Pebbles says, I'm in Madura, 80 km south of Perth.
Madura.
Hi, Paul.
Beautiful.
He says hi.
G'day, Paul. How are you, mate? I get into trouble because I'm so used to saying g'day to people, and that's the only time people think we might be Australian. So we always say g'day to people, and everybody here says good morning. And some guy told us we weren't meant to say good day, but I thought it's quite nice to wish somebody an entire good day than rather sort of like a mean-spirited half of a day. I feel like good morning means have a lovely morning, but hope your afternoon is crap. So I think our way of saying, we say good day, have a
whole day,
entire day. I'd like to wish you an entire good day, not just a good evening or a good afternoon, but the entire, see, that's the Aussie spirit, you know? We want to give a whole good day to everybody, not just like a measly little morning or a sort of tiny little afternoon period. So when I meet people, I'm quite happy to say good day to them. Good day.
So Rana Rose said, you're a beautiful lady and gentleman. Thank you.
Where?
They're not talking about you.
I thought someone was behind us.
Somebody said true blue.
True blue.
I didn't see who it was. Who said that?
Well, that's because we're talking Aussie.
I know why they said it. Old school.
Yeah, so last night we rocked up to we struggled to find, the rain started coming late in the evening last night. It started all day, it rained, basically all day, little pitter patter, but nothing that you couldn't walk between.
And
we
didn't get wet.
Yeah. We were along the canal side most of the day, and in the water you could see little driplets of water all day long. But later in the evening, and I tell you, we'd done about 33 kilometers. Later in the evening, it started to get a bit heavy. Now, the policy I have is that I try and find a public area, public footpath, so that we can find somewhere to camp near what I could say a public access.
Oh, thank you, Paul, for our supply fund.
Thank you, Paul.
Do appreciate it. Thank you.
I should be getting supplies tomorrow. So
trouble is, I send him into the co-op and he comes out laden.
I do come out. It's Paul's fault. Thank you very much, mate. So So we found this little, it took a while. We were walking, we were getting wetter and wetter, and actually we got very wet last night. Everything was damp. And we eventually found a little public path, and we found some really rough ground, but it was flat enough. And by the time our stuff was in there, it was flat.
It was okay, wasn't
So
it?
we bedded down, and we sort of go to sleep. We don't really sleep. It's the nights are too long because we have to stop by sort of 6 o'clock, otherwise the sun's gone. And in the morning there was a construction yard, but it was, see where we are now, say it was at least, is there a bridge?
Yeah.
Down there, it was at least 300 meters away. There's a construction yard. And I said to Michelle, there's a building yard going on over there, but it's a long way off. And it looked like one of those that have been furloughed and wasn't working, you know, because, you know, it wasn't that, I suppose it was late in the evening, but it looked like nothing was going on there.
Yeah.
So in the morning, we're laying in, no, I've just made the coffee.
Yeah,
It's
we've got-
around about 7:30, maybe 8 o'clock at the latest, and I'm just making the coffee up. There's somebody outside the tent shouting, who's in there, or something, I don't know. It's just like,
hello, is anyone in there?
Yeah, so I said, hello. I said, how are you? And this builder lad in a fluorescent jacket comes to the door, and I filmed him again, but he was all right in the end. But he said, you're not allowed, this is our land, this is our pub, this is our land, he said, we're building here. And I said, well, you're not building here. I said, you're building, there's a fence, there's an enclosed fenced area with locks on it, 300 meters across craggy moorland, you know, not just like in a thing, like craggy moorland. I said, well, he said, this is private land, it belongs to us, we're building here. And I said, you're not building here, otherwise you'd have a sign up. He said, no, it is, we built, I've got the deeds. And I said, well, there's a sign just 20 meters from us that says this is a public access, and if I look on the OS maps, it's a public access land, and there's a pathway you can see just here. And he said, well, you're not allowed. Anyway, we explained to him what we were doing. Oh, there'd been a robbery.
Yeah.
There'd been a robbery. He called the police. Well, he said, doesn't matter, you can talk to the police. I've called the police. There's been a robbery, and somebody's stolen some stuff from the building site. And I said to him, well, I said, we didn't see anybody. I said, there was no noise last night, so I don't think we can help you with that. And he said, yes, but he said, you're not meant to be here. And I said, look, so I told him we're walking lands, and he softened a bit then. He was sort of like interested. He said, well, we were just worried because you might have stolen the stuff and then taken it into your tent. And I just looked at him like, I thought, yeah, you know, the smartest burglars in the world are going to actually camp next to the building site that they nick stuff from. You're going to go in, steal some tools, and then bring it into your tent and camp just outside. And I didn't like to say it. I said, I'm happy to chat with the police if you want to get them. And the police suddenly vanished. I think that was just a sort of something he was saying.
Well, they never appeared while we were
I said, because there's nothing. We're perfectly right. So it was quite funny. That was today's morning's wake
someone
up.
said they're glad you don't take any nonsense. Public land is public land. When
It's public
see a
land.
crime, call the police, mate. Otherwise, take a hike. Pardon the pun.
Well, exactly. I
That's what
mean,
we were saying this
well,
morning.
I did say to Michelle, I said that I'm confident, because at the end of the day, the police will not and cannot do anything. It is a civil case. If somebody's actually on private land, it's a civil case, and the police can do nothing about it. It's not a criminal offence in any way whatsoever. The most they could do is ask you to move on and talk to you. And as it was, I don't know why he was. Maybe they had some stuff stolen from the site, but in reality, I don't know why he was bothering to say to us, because we were clearly not. You know, we weren't setting up like gazebos and going to be there for the day.
Tent, miles away from his.
And once he knew we were hiking land in John Groats, he leant in and shook our hands. Thank you very much. Off he went.
No social distancing.
No social distancing. I was going to call the police. I was very annoyed. I said, you're a bit close to our tent. No, and then we shook hands and smiled. Neil was his name.
Neil was his name, yeah. Exchanged names.
So it was all good.
So that was our morning, but yeah, it was all good.
That was our morning. How was your morning? And then we got up. We had a bowl of porridge with some seedless raisins in it, and a little bit of syrup, a little bit of maple syrup, just to flavour it up. And then we got up, packed up, it was reasonably dry, and then we walked.
Oh, we did have a nice experience today.
We had a lovely
We
experience.
did.
I don't know whether we should share this today. Why not?
Why not? Because we'll forget otherwise.
We met.
We were looking for somewhere to stop.
To fill our water bottles. No, we were looking for someone to stop.
Yes, it was.
And there was a little cottage just on the side of the canal, beautifully decorated with teapots and porcelain and little. It was like a little fairy
nice.
grotto
Yes.
almost.
It's next to a swing bridge thing.
Yeah, and I said there was a gentleman in the garden, elderly gentleman, in the garden, and I said to him, "Is there anywhere along here we could sit and just have a break? We just wanted to have a brew." And he said, "Oh, you can sit outside on the there." He said, "That'd be fine." Normally, we said we have people in because, and I noticed inside their garden they had like lots of little benches and teapots. Everywhere was teapots. And he said, "Normally we have everybody come in. We just invite them in for tea." And he said, "But they were not. They were in their, I'd say in their 80s.
I would say, yeah.
Yeah. And he said, "But you know, we don't because of so and so." And I said, "Oh," he said, "Do you need any water?" And I said, "Yes, if you wouldn't mind." So he took our water. He'd been painting, and he had paint all over his gloves. And I said, "Oh, I thought, oh God, here goes. The water bottles are going to be covered in grey paint." So he took our bottles and filled them up. And then he came back. He said, "Please come in." He said, "I'd like my wife and I. We want to make." He said, "We'll come in and have your drink in our garden." And then when we came in, he said, "Would you like tea or coffee?" No, he said, "Would you like a cup of tea?" Because they're really into their tea. And Michelle had coffee because she's a heathen, and I had tea. But they were amazing. They were just really into their tea. There were teapots everywhere. The garden was full of teapots.
And it was proper tea, wasn't it?
And she said to me when she brought me a little pot of tea out, and she said, "Be careful because it's got tea leaves in. It's proper tea." And I said, "Oh, lovely. I love good tea." And it was beautiful. It was the best cup of tea I've had in a long, long time. Lovely, lovely cup of tea.
And we had biscuits.
And she brought little biscuits out, mint biscuits.
Coffee, tea, I know, Paul, it was good.
And they sat and talked to us.
Great stories, didn't we?
And just exchanging the stories. And what they normally do is they've retired there from Lincoln, which is down south. They've retired there, and there's no car access where they are. So they actually have a boat. They have a canal boat parked on the canal, and they just spend their time. Well, a lot of it is, he said, we love just talking to people. We invite people in all the time, and we haven't been able to talk to people all this year because of this COVID. He said, "You're the first people we've invited in, and we want to start inviting people in again." And I thought it was a really nice thing that they trusted us to come into their homes. And I videoed a little bit of it, but it was a special, really. Roy and Audrey. I don't know your surnames. No. Lovely couple, Christian couple, very Christian. They had a lot of Christian artifacts up, so they were interesting in that respect, I would say, is the way I would describe that. Lovely people, and it was a highlight. I said to Michelle when we left, we didn't stay too long. We drank our beautiful tea, and
Lucky Dog Production says good morning.
Good morning.
That's nice of them. They are not doing much to squash the British stereotype, to quash it with the British tea, giving you tea.
Yeah.
They said they like their tea and they like real tea.
I said, "Michelle doesn't really drink tea," and he looked at her like.
He said, "We said okay, we can do coffee."
No, it's all right. We can do coffee. But they only make it with proper tea leaves, you know. So it was nice.
And who's that says, "I wish." Oh, Cheryl said, "That's how I wish it was everywhere. People being friendly, enjoying life."
We are finding lots of people like it. We are finding most people are not like it, but most people are just standing up and just saying, no more of this nonsense. We're actually getting on with our lives. And I find it more and more, actually, almost exclusively, more elderly people. They're just so tired of being isolated from people and the stories.
They said they were going shopping once a week, and then they were sort of just they were going on. Brenda said we've met some lovely people and made some fantastic memories.
We have. we have. And
Hello,
we'll,
Anne. Missed the first half of your live chat. Well, you can go back and catch up later.
you can, Anne. Hit the thumbs up.
Yes.
Only 18 people. Look at you, miserly
Oh.
northerners. Yeah, northerners.
If you take
Nobody from the southern hemisphere. I bet all the southern
if
hemisphere.
people
a lot
take
of
the time to talk to each other, they almost always find they have more in common.
Generally, that's true. We've always got more to talk about. And we even talking with Roy and Audrey. We were talking about other experiences that they'd had that was similar to when, to ones Michelle and I had had. And at one time, Michelle and I also lived in Sri Lanka, and so we have a common interest in tea as well, even though Michelle doesn't drink it.
The restaurant. Hi, good morning from Silicon Valley.
Good day. Michelle, what coffee roast do you prefer?
What coffee roast? I don't like it too bitter. So I like quite a strong coffee. So probably a mid roast. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I think...
I learned from Stephen that I tend to taste the bean when we're in the coffee shop. So you
Yeah,
eat the raw bean.
if Michelle takes... I don't like answering for you because you know I've got a bigger mouth than you have. But if Michelle took a coffee bean and if you take a coffee bean and eat it, it'll give you exactly the sort of flavours you'll get from the coffee. It's not that strong either to eat coffee beans. And Michelle tends to prefer not overly dark roasted coffees. She's much lighter, blonder roasts. And we both of us don't mind if it's a blend of an Arabica and a Robusta, but you know, generally it's going to be an Arabica.
I don't like it too mild. I like it to have a nice, coffee.
Yeah,
smooth,
not too bitter. So the French roast, we're not so keen on the dark French roast, which sweats the bean, so the bean's literally sweating.
But Paul's been drinking a lot of instant coffee.
Well, oh yeah, at the moment, was it Paul that asked?
I think it was
at the moment,
yes.
Paul,
Turkish
we drink
coffee.
any old rubbish.
Turkish coffee, I did grow on me, but it is very strong, and you do need a little bit of water that they give with it.
Yeah, Turkish coffee is not my favourite coffee. Thank you, all my lovely Turkish friends, but it's not my favourite coffee. I don't know if I like to sort of empty all the dregs back into the coffee.
So Brenda said I like a French roast, dark, but not too strong. Did she say? But strong brew, yes. And JM said, do you ever drink flavoured coffee?
I don't overly like flavoured coffees. I find that they end up being either too sweet, if you end up with odd flavours. I like just pure coffee. I don't even like caramel really in that.
No, in a coffee I like it as a coffee.
I particularly dislike the nutty.
Iced coffees can be okay with a little bit of flavour.
Iced coffees can, because
they're more like
they're just an ice cream, aren't they?
Arabica coffee, yes. I prefer G&T.
No, Arabica, not Arabian coffee. Quite different, very different.
Mandy says I prefer G&T. Well, I don't.
No, Michelle's not a tea drinker.
Oh, you're good.
Just winding her up. A Garibaldi in a cup of tea.
There you go. Or a ginger nut in a cup of tea.
Yeah, I like a Garibaldi in a cup of tea. Michelle's not a big fan. Don't you dare try and explain what you mean by G&T.
We do know.
We do know. So I suspect the picture is a lot better today than it was when we did it in that fancy hotel room a few days ago. It's only 4 days ago now. Where I had to pay extra for the internet that was rubbish.
And our mobile data didn't even work.
COVID! Excuse me. Dear me, that keeps happening.
Yeah.
Just do lots of COVID I've had today.
So yes, it's much better, says KMYU.
I even look quite good in me.
In your hat.
In my hat.
In your hat.
It is cold,
Bless you, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, we were all set up ready for that live stream in the hotel.
We set up.
It was rubbish.
We got the extra super fast internet, £5. We got what they called ultimate internet. Set it up and it was terrible. I think we looked like a pair of Lego characters.
Oh,
Eric's in. Good day, Eric.
Picture perfect.
Picture perfect, Eric.
And someone was saying, what items will, when you're done in the UK, what items will you take with you that you can't get in other places?
Good question. Throw some questions up. We'll do a little bit of Q&A with you if you like. there's probably nothing we have here that we can't get in Australia.
Yeah.
So, but we'll probably try and take most of our stuff back with us because we're getting the bug for this long distance walking. So,
We'll see if we can take it all back.
I'd love to take a lot of the English snacks away
Well,
with me.
that's what Brenda was saying. What's been your favourite snack along the way?
My very favourite snack, Brenda, for me is quite easy. I don't know what Michelle will say, but for me, there's it's the digestive biscuits with caramel. At the moment, they've got a range called Nib, I think.
No, Vib, V-I-B.
Vib.
I think it stands for very important biscuits.
Oh, very important biscuits.
I don't know.
Okay. So they're basically a digestive biscuit with a nice hard toffee, almost toffee caramel, and then covered in chocolate. That's one of my favourite snacks. Love them.
They're all right.
They're all right.
They're all right.
Michelle doesn't like, not sweet tooth as I am.
I've been liking the peanuts, salted peanuts. I like quite salty things because we tend to have a lot of sweet stuff. The scones have been quite nice. We quite often have a scone.
Scones, fruit scones.
Yep.
But Michelle does like Maynard's wine gums.
Wine gums, yes.
If I get her something, a little treat when I go into the shop, it's a packet of wine gums. She likes those. We don't get very good wine gum. Oh, I'll tell you another thing that's really good here in the UK. So if you Brits, if Australians, we all know what fruit and nut, Cadbury's fruit and nut.
Yes.
In Australia, we have a lot of Cadbury's fruit and nut. But the Cadbury's fruit and nut here in England is so much nicer, and I don't know why. It just tastes really delicious. I can take it or leave it in Australia. I don't even particularly like it, but yeah, no, it's
Orange Club biscuits, they've been quite good as well.
Yeah.
We haven't had those for a while.
Orange Club biscuits. Yeah, so lots of things. Lots of things. Fish and chips, but not fish and chips.
No.
I actually don't overly like fish in batter unless it's really good quality, and it can be hit and miss. But I do like the sausage in batter they do here with chips.
I just like the chips.
Michelle just likes the chips.
And said she likes a digestive biscuit dunked in tea. I love a plain digestive biscuit with a cup of tea. Soak the biscuits in.
Do you like licorice all sorts?
No, I like licorice.
Michelle's
I love licorice. But licorice all sorts.
Rosie and Jim.
No, not really.
No, because I think probably because I've eaten a licorice all sort before. They're not that licoricey, and they're not that. They're just
it's
sweet.
All the sugary bits, isn't it? I like the licorice bits in licorice all sorts, but I don't like all the sugary bits. My gran loved licorice all sorts, but no. But I love licorice.
Sailing along on the old ragdoll.
Is Rosie and Jim
Rosie and Jim. Rosie and Jim.
It's Kev Island.
G'day, Kev.
Is that us now on the canals?
We haven't got a boat. If I had a boat, I wouldn't mind, Kev. If you can get me a boat, then I can sail the rest of the way. It'd be quite nice
So Karen
in the warm and dry.
Karen says, afternoon probably just in case of having more appetite makes food so appealing. It does. When you're hungry, you know, Ginster's
What have we
Cornish
had
pasty.
today? We've had a Ginster's Cornish pasty.
Which is all right. It's better if it's hot. But
And
it's
we've
cold.
had porridge.
Porridge.
We've had a shortbread biscuit.
And a mint
biscuit. And we've got to eat something else yet because it's getting to the end of the day. So not a lot.
Recipe for battered broccoli.
Carrot and lemonade cucumber.
That's
just a random sentence.
So James says the coconut can make them very sweet. Yes, that's the licorice all sorts.
Right. I don't like licorice. I'm not a licorice fan. I wouldn't eat a licorice all sort or licorice. The only licorice I've ever, and I don't really enjoy it, but the only one I'll eat is the pink licorice you can get sometimes, which is not licorice anyway. It's completely unlicorice.
And said, did you enjoy the Premier Inn breakfast?
Yes, I really did. I did. I love that full English. And we actually had a full English breakfast with our friends Peter and Chris.
Yes.
I would say Peter and Chris's was more delicious because they used really good quality sausages and things. But either way, the Premier Inn one was really good also. I mean, it was just good, solid, heavy, disgustingly unhealthy food.
But it was good.
Yeah. And I should say, if we're going back one guest stay further than that, that's Scottish breakfast, square sausage and the what do they call those little fried? Anyway, they were good also. Potato cakes in a bat. So now we've had some good food. Never knock the British food. It's some of the best
Hi,
in the
Sue,
world.
you just got in. Hi, Rick. You just got in.
G'day, Rick.
Just talking about you earlier,
We was talking about you, Rick. I'll save you rewinding.
I'm finding it.
I Googled yesterday, I think it was. I just said, oh, I wonder how far we are, because I suddenly saw Swindon on the map. And I thought, oh, I wonder how far we are. And we're only about a couple of 100 kilometres from Swindon.
There we go.
So we're getting down, man. We're really.
When you look at at it now, we are getting down.
And we're going
there.
a lot straighter. We're going. We're eating up. We've done.
Sue says her and Rick haven't been together because they both came in together.
Oh yes. You have. Don't you lie to us.
So Kev Island said, my favourite British food is a chicken tikka masala.
Kev's trying to be clever because he knows that chicken tikka masala is a British food, and it's also one of Britain's favourite national dishes, even though it sounds quite Indian. It originates, I think, from the north of England, if I remember rightly, and invented, I think, by some Pakistani chefs that came over here at one time. So
Rick says his ears are burning and we're making amazing progress.
Yeah, we're tomorrow, Rick. We've done close to 100 kilometres in the last 3 days because we're on flat canals, and we're going to probably do a slightly shorter day tomorrow.
Good morning, Owens, says Val.
We're going to do a slightly shorter day tomorrow because we're going to have to get up and get through Stoke-on-Trent if we can.
Yeah.
And then.
Well, it might be a longer one if it depends.
The only thing is my feet have been aching a lot today, and I don't know whether they'll recover. They generally recover overnight, but we will see.
So Sue says you're looking much stronger and happier. Because we're on flat land.
My strong, happy. My strong, happy impression.
Oh, who was that? Said how much of the balcony? It must have been Paul who said how much of the balcony. How much of the balcony has gone at this point?
Paul, there is. It's just like a little front step at the moment. Just like it's like something like a curbstone, I would say. Barely a. What are those planks called you put down outside? Decking. Barely a piece of decking.
So 2 freelancers and a bear says, finally caught you live again. We love all the updates and you guys done a great job making distance. We hope one day to walk it ourselves. Cool.
Well, it's a good walk. It's a lot harder than Michelle and I ever imagined it would be. That's what I would say. A lot harder.
And as Rick says, it's amazing how the more favourable terrain adds miles to the progress. Oh, it is when you haven't got. You look up and you say, "Oh, that's a big hill."
Do you know?
You've got to go down it.
We haven't really done a hill in the last 2 days, apart from one just about an hour ago. But that wasn't even really a hill. We haven't done a hill.
No,
it's just amazing. There's little locks occasionally, and you'll do.
We don't even notice those, do you?
Because they're a slope.
And we're usually looking at the locks.
We're usually walking up hills like this.
In a bog.
I said, Michelle and I have walked. I don't know how many miles. Probably over sort of 1,000, 1,300 kilometres. And this country has thrown us mountain ranges and bog and marshes, and we've walked through every one. Sometimes only 10 miles a day, sometimes 15 miles a day. The last few days closer to 20 miles a day, I think. More kilometres. Yeah. I don't know. My everything on my phone is set to kilometres, so we've got close to 40 kilometres on one of the days, which was a bit tiring, to be frank. And that's mainly because we couldn't find a place to stop. So I think if the rest of the route goes well, and I haven't sort of mapped us through some ridiculous.
Because you've sort of mapped it, haven't you?
We're
checking it every second sort of day.
Even today's section I had to change slightly.
But we've just noticed as well, looking at this map here on the wall, that there's more canals.
We may be able to do more. I've just got to look. The book that I've got just tells you go up every hill that you can find.
And then across
so
a bit.
it says,
and then down a bit,
go up this
back
hill,
a
go
bit.
up this hill. Oh, you might like to go up this hill.
This one's nice and boggy, go up there.
And it's a lovely view, and we get up there and think, well, it's a view, it's a lovely view, but I can barely breathe anymore. I'm wheezing
or
and
it's
sort
so
of like,
cloudy you can't see anything.
or you get up there and it's cloud, and it's freezing cold,
Yep.
and it took you 3 hours to get up there, so you can't go back down, so you're camping on top of the hill, as we were a couple of nights, 2 or 3 nights back. But at least since we got out of the higher regions, the Yorkshire Dales were shockingly cold. As we came out of those high, when we walked through the Dales, everything around us, over there were mountains and mountains everywhere we looked. So we knew wherever we walked was going to be up hills, and we were really struggling to get high mileage done. But since we came down from the Dales into, it was over that bit of land, wasn't it? I can't remember now, from where we came into Yorkshire and Lancashire. The land just went flatter, and that's what started us thinking about doing canal walking. Well, it's actually, I got my OS maps and I noticed canals and I started joining them up, and I thought we can get a long way down.
Doing that, we've been getting a long way down.
Yeah.
So we don't need all these paths and ways.
And we've a friend, Matthew, he won't be watching this, I'm sure, but we've a friend, Matthew, who's walking the traditional, it's not a traditional, he's following the whole of the Pennine Way, very traditionalist, and he's doing every sort of, he's only a young boy, he's only a young nipper. And I think by going this way we might catch him up, even though he's been...
He passed us on our first day, didn't we?
Yeah, we met him on the very first day of walking from John O'Groats.
And we've kept in contact.
And we catch him because he'll say, oh, I want to go up Ben Nevis. And he goes up Ben Nevis, and while he's climbing Ben Nevis, Michelle and I get a little bit ahead of him, and then we catch him and we meet him again, and then he says, oh, I want to climb up sort of something fell.
I want to do the complete Pennine.
Yeah,
Way,
not going to miss, so he's gone back up to Kirk Yethlum to come back down. Yeah. But, we're coming from Jedburgh to the Pennine Way, as some of you will remember. So it's interesting. Yeah. We won't beat him because he'll be there a long time before us. But
it is interesting because we're on the flatter ground.
Because the route that I'd originally planned went... Well, we didn't intend to go into sort of Burnley and Newcastle way. We're actually meant to be going into the Peak District, and then around, and then back, and then around, and then back. And I said to Mel, why can't we just go straight through the middle?
Do this S?
So that's when we first picked up the Pennine Bridle Way, which is still the Pennine Way, and we started walking on bridle ways, which are, traditionally for horses and generally not bad, and sometimes really bad.
Yeah, sometimes really bad.
Yeah.
Sometimes it was quite good, but
let's just have a quick look, because see if there's any questions.
Come on, hit that thumbs up. Only half of you have done it.
No thumbs up. Well, we're going if you don't hit the thumbs up.
So will you do a separate book on either food you ate during the walk or places to eat during your walk?
Well, the book on food, Eric, will be very basic. It's pour hot water and smash, add tin fish
and cold baked beans.
So that book would be quite short, but we might do something. We might do.
Are you back wearing your sandals now you're on flatter, drier ground?
We've been tempted to go back into our sandals because I'm struggling a bit with the shoes because your feet get damp every day. But
we're still in the boots at the moment.
We had a big section today of really muddy because it rained last night, and we had a muddy section. So no, we're keeping the boots on for the time being.
So in the paper there's a guy walking with 2 horses, but the other way you may pass him, he's doing the canal walk.
Oh, right. Well, that'd be cool to see. We haven't met that many people.
Kev says, I always hit the thumbs up.
Thank you, Kev.
And Moog Father, glad I caught you. Hope you're doing well. We are.
We are.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So if you have any questions, now's the time to answer them, because we're getting up to...
ask them.
Now's the time to answer them, Michelle. I never make mistakes.
It's very quiet, this canal,
isn't it? It's really quiet. Maybe they've closed it.
Oh, maybe, that's all right.
I think the canal's been shut. Not a single boat has gone by. Very odd.
That's been quiet. I mean, we do see the odd boat chugging along, but not many.
We met another couple, I don't remember their names. So there's a lady in a canal boat and she's got a industrial sewing machine and she's stitching. She's stitching. And I said, oh, what are you making? And she said, I'm making a gazebo. And I thought, a gazebo, which is like a tent, really. And I thought, oh,
you said for the boat?
For the boat. And she said, no, for my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
So she's got a little business on her boat. She's making gazebos, and there's out on the canal towpath here.
Two trestle
there's
tables.
like trestle tables, and she's got this big industrial sewing machine. What a lovely couple! Both her and her husband have done a lot of wild camping in the UK, so they were giving us tips and saying, you know, if you go down here, there'll be some canal locks, and you can always camp on the canal lock sides. And then they said also, when we get down below Stoke-on-Trent, we may also find some areas. So they were lovely.
Yeah, that was good.
We meet some good people.
We do. So J Cruz says, hi from Montana, USA, enjoying your trip.
Good day, J Cruz.
Kev Island says, have you had any encounters with wild animals?
Well,
I seen a buzzard on my neighbour's pillar the other day.
On their, well, that must have been, I hope they didn't wake up with it on the pillar. Would have been a bit of a shock, wouldn't it?
Not really wild animals.
We got asked this yesterday, Kev. So I can say that one night we actually heard noise outside the tent, and when I put on my little torch to look outside of the tent, there was actually a deer right about just here.
Yep.
And it just looked at me and just carried on chomping at the grass. We've had hundreds of sheep. Yep. We've seen lots and lots of buzzards and kestrels and wild birds galore. I can't say that I've got much great footage of wild animals, but we've seen a lot.
Yeah. Oh, we did that time we missed it though. When the stag went across the path.
Oh yeah, there was a stag.
Yeah.
When we were up in the Highlands, or maybe even in the Lowlands, or one of the lands, one of the wetlands of Scotland, and a stag came. So if you imagine this behind me, this was a mountain rather than just some bushes. A stag just jumped over the top and ran in front of us. And I didn't have time to catch it, obviously. I didn't have a camera.
So Kev says, very nice, I love birds of prey.
Some beautiful birds of prey. We see so many. They're always hovering above us on the walks sides. There was...
seen lots of ducks.
Lots of ducks. Ducks are flying south. They're not stupid enough.
No, I meant on the canals. We've seen lots of ducks.
Rats. I saw last night, late in the evening, I saw a little field mouse running alongside the canal when I was walking. Rats, not really. I'm sure they're all over the place. Water rats we've seen.
Yeah, we saw Ratty before we started the walk, when we were training in Swindon.
Oh yeah, that was down near Rick. There was a little water rat, like in Wind in the Willows, down near Rick's place, on the little lakes that they've got down there. But that was a water rat, very pretty.
Sue says Peking duck and pancakes.
I've seen a couple of Peking ducks. There was one Peking just round the corner earlier on, but I haven't seen many pancakes. I did see a couple of wild haggis up in Scotland. There was a haggis. There was 2 haggis went past the tent when we were getting up in the morning. That was quite interesting. Not often you see a haggis.
So we saw lots of grouse.
Loads of grouse, lots of pheasants, lots of deer, lots of sheep, lots of cows, lots of hairy beasties, the big Highland cattle with the big horns, you know, those beautiful animals. And just the other day, we didn't get to stay there long because it was midday. We were in Wensleydale. Do you remember?
Yeah.
And we saw the Jersey cows just outside of Wensleydale. Yes. So we were in the town of we were in Wensleydale, or...
Hello, Star.
Who's that?
Star 1, 2.
G'day, Star.
1, 2.
We were in Wensleydale. Give us a piece of Wensleydale Gromit. It was like Wallace and Gromit Wensleydale, and we couldn't go and see the Wensleydale factory because it was shut for the corona and everything. It was
no, we didn't get any cheese.
No, we didn't get any cheese. Yeah. We didn't get any Wensleydale.
So Couch Potato says, which country, hang on, are we in, or which country do you live in?
Australia.
Yes.
Nobody believes we're from Australia because I think our English accents get stronger when we're here. But we're from Australia. We haven't lived. Well, I barely ever lived in the UK at all. A very short period of my life, so I know I've got a British accent. But when I get back to Australia, I'm going to work on my Aussie accent.
Yeah. Joe Cruz says, have you tried the Cadbury's Marvellous Creations?
We get them in Australia. I'm
Yeah.
not a big fan. I don't generally like them. They
And
just
they've not
all
got proper squares.
no, and they don't break well. You
No,
know,
you
I don't.
can't share them.
Nothing worse when you open up a bar of chocolate and instead of being nice little squares, it's done in the shape of a shoe or somebody's
How do
sort
we
of
share
like
that?
sofa and a couch or something, and you're trying to break it off, and it's just going like that. So you say, "Oh, do you want a square of chocolate?" No, or would you like a random sort of piece of what have you?
Oh, thank you, Val. Coffees or brews on me.
Thank you very much, Val.
We will.
We will. We'll have tomorrow's coffee brew on you. Thank you very much. Or we'll have something nice maybe as we go through Stoke-on-Trent.
Yes.
That might be
So
quite
Kev
nice.
says, I like Galaxy, so smooth.
Galaxy's nice. I think the chocolate here in England, Britain, Great Britain, because not just in England, Scotland as well, just tastes nicer.
It does. Yes.
Yeah, you've got better chocolate.
You've got better chocolate.
I think because our Cadbury's chocolate in Australia is, they changed the recipe some years back. There was a bit of a hoo-ha about it. They were going to use different fats, I think, different cocoa solids, and we have to have chocolate that doesn't, because we're in a warmer country and we can't just sit here like this freezing. Thank you, Val. I saw it again there. It was it's very sweet. So we're in a country where it's warm. And up in Scotland, I left a block of chocolate, Cadbury's chocolate, out in direct sunlight for an hour. And I suddenly thought, oh
no.
dear, that's going to melt. And I picked it up and it was like a brick. Because even though the sun was baking down onto this piece of chocolate, the ambient temperature is about minus 300 degrees Celsius. So it was still solid. Now, if you did that in Australia, if you left it for 3 minutes in the sun, it would just be, you'd open it and it would just be liquid chocolate.
Quick in the fridge.
So I think they have to make our chocolate
Yes.
differently, and it's not as good.
Not as good.
Not as good.
Not as good. So Jay Cruz was saying, where in Australia are we from? We're from Melbourne.
We're from Melbourne. We've lived in Queensland as well.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Shalimar says, I prefer Belgian chocolate.
Oh, I don't know. The Belgians are famous for chocolate, but they can't make Cadbury's. They can't make Cadbury's.
So Jay Cruz said, yes, UK is better for Cadbury's. I think UK has the top star for Cadbury's chocolate.
I mean, if I was doing something fancy, I might use a Belgique or a Swiss chocolate, but you know, nothing sort of hits home. It's a bit like
you always say, don't you, whenever you're using chocolate, you use your favourite chocolate.
Yeah, if you're going to cook with chocolate, if you're going to put it into food,
chocolate.
use chocolate you like. Yeah. Don't use chocolate that you're told to use. That's what I always say to people. Because I know that most of our American friends are used to the sort of Hershey styles of chocolate, which is a very different chocolate altogether. And it just, you know, to us, Hershey's is a bit too... It's just not the way we like our chocolate. And I think Americans find the same for Aussie chocolates or British chocolates.
I think it's the chocolate you grow up with. Yeah. I think it's, you know, it's the chocolate you're used to, and that's what you really like.
One of my recipes where I make a chunky chocolate cookie, real big chunks of chocolate. If you want that to taste really good and you love Hershey's chocolate, use Hershey's. Don't use the wrong chocolate. If you like white chocolate buttons, use white chocolate
buttons. Oops. So Kev says, I
didn't put someone in. I hope I didn't put someone in.
You didn't.
What's it called? Timeout.
Timeout. Yes. So Kevin says, I like Hershey's. Tried it. I don't like Hershey's. Tried it in Florida. Very dry and crumbly.
I like Hershey's.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit. I had Hershey's as a lad, so I do like Hershey's. G'day, Michael.
And 2 freelancers and the best. You have to run, but well done, guys, and enjoy the day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And as for getting to Land's End, I think I was going to answer that. I think we can do it in under a month now. I think so. I'm not, unless anything really untoward starts popping up, like I've got to walk all the way to Kent or something because of, you know, somebody's put a pile of... People say to us, oh, what about lockdowns? We don't care. We're not interested. We don't see enough people. We don't bump into enough. We don't follow the news. we're just
And I don't
walking.
think anybody's really interested in us, the fact that
No.
we're walking. They're not going to come up and say, oh, what are you doing here? This is
No,
whatever.
and even if the police came and said to us, you know, go home immediately, you say, all right, then can you give us a lift? You know,
We're trying.
yeah, where are you? Australia. Yeah, step on the horses, you know, get going. So we're doing well.
Hate that American chocolate. My daughter lives in the US, and when she comes, missed it. When she comes home, it's always Cadbury's. That's what Sue says. Do you find a difference in dairy products, including butter from Australia?
Just quickly on the American chocolates, by the way, there are some fantastic, if you get over there, some fantastic American chocolates. It isn't all about Hershey's. There's a lot more chocolates over there. You can find stuff over there that is great. Their Maltesers are rubbish though.
They're Whoppers.
They're Whoppers. They're rubbish.
We didn't like those.
What was that question?
About dairy products, do you find them different in Australia?
You have better dairy here in England. We have a little bit like the Americans. We have a lot of sort of hyper pasteurized, sort of really quite under fat. A lot of our creams don't have really high fat content in them. Here in the UK, you have some really great dairy products. You just do. I don't know why. Great butters, great cheese. So just some of the best cheeses in the world come from this area. We lived for many years in France, and I struggle to see France can put a light to some of the British cheeses that come from here. If you think about it, Cheshire, Red Leicester, Wensleydales, Cheddars, there's just so many good cheeses and soft cheeses and everything. So they do have good stuff here. Now, having said that,
I work for a raw milk farmer here in New York.
Well, beautiful. Well, if you've got raw milks and you can get access to raw butterfat products, then you'll be doing fine. We have equally as good cheeses in Australia and butters and things, but our supermarkets are a bit rubbish. Our supermarkets just have so limited choice. You have to find the independence.
Yeah, and if you're lucky enough to live near one, then that's cool.
Yeah, it's not easy. Yeah. So we've been on an hour. Okay. We really can't afford to be on much longer.
36-month mature, so nice and flavourful.
I think we'll be going near cheddar, so maybe we'll get some local cheddar cheese. I wish I'd got Wensleydale the other day.
So J. Cruz said, yes, we agree. Oh, French bread. Yes, French bread's very good.
French bread is great. My French sourdough baguettes, beautiful.
Lucky Dog Production says, now you're talking my language, chocolate and cheese.
Chocolate and cheese,
yum,
yeah.
Yum,
yum, yum.
They go well together.
I've got a real penchant for cheese.
Yes.
Look.
It's getting cold.
It's getting cold. We've got to start walking and find ourselves a spot, or maybe we'll stop here.
Yeah, maybe we will.
We'll work out the distance that we've got to go. Should we stop somewhere around here?
We could do.
Is there anyone in that house over there?
I haven't seen anybody. They haven't come out and waved at us.
I don't know. There's not a lot of foot traffic, is it? We might be stopping here tonight. It's getting that time of day. Yeah, there's some nice grass spots around here, and we could probably get away with it.
But we've got to the stage now where after about 4 o'clock we have to start looking, and if we see somewhere we've got to stop.
Well, if we start walking further down the canal and we hit a town, we're in trouble because we may not find anywhere to stop for the night.
That is the thing. I think we're going to be hitting somewhere quite built up. I have to check, but I think we might be stopping here. Don't tell anybody.
Yeah, that's why I'm not telling you exactly where we are. I'm not putting the GPS location because you turn me in. Come on, thumbs up, please, everybody. There's 60 odd of you in there at the moment. Please hit the thumbs up, otherwise I'm going to spit my dummy out and not talking to any of you anymore. So what else has been going on? We had what else? That was lovely. The couple, Roy and Audrey, beautiful couple. I'm just thinking if there was any other really outstanding stories that we had. There was that.
I'll probably remember afterwards.
Yeah, well, yes. I'll have a think about it.
When are you going to do your old-fashioned cooking show? I really miss it.
Who's saying that?
That was 49 Nick.
Nick, I don't know. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. There's over 1,000 recipes out there. You probably haven't seen them all, but I will do it again one day. Promise I will. And we'll have some fun with it as well. Cornish pasties.
Have you taken any advantage of any of the streams to wash your clothes?
No, we
No.
never wash our clothes. We just stink generally. No,
Well, we did up in Scotland. We would have a wash and
Yeah.
wash the odd thing.
Right
but
now
no.
it's so
It's
cold.
so
You
cold,
don't
and then
feel
you can't
like
dry it, what are you going to do with the wet clothes?
Exactly.
You need a
exactly.
warm hotel room to dry it in. So no, it doesn't get washed.
No.
If it was the middle of the summer, yes, we would. Can't beat a good Stilton, Steve. That's what Mandy said.
I love a Stilton. Michelle, you're not so bothered, are you?
No, I'll take it or
Love
leave
a
it on a
Stilton. You can Christmas time Stilton with
Yeah.
some. Is it brandy you put into
Port.
Stilton? Port. Of course, port. Soaked in port. Or brandy, if you so wish. It's a traditional
anything.
thing we used to do at Christmas. Soak it in something. But I love a good Stilton. But it can be pretty intense, you know. And when Stilton matures, it can take the enamel off your teeth. So gotta be careful with that stuff. Pretty solid. Right, I think we are going to say goodbye. Love you and leave you all. We've been on for an hour. Thank you for putting up with my chitter chatter. Thank you, everybody, for your
see you
support.
again soon, Rick.
See you. Only 200 kilometres less than now, Rick, because that was the other day.
Are you happier hiking?
What do you mean?
What's happening to the picture?
Why has it gone all misty? Is
Has
it?
it gone all misty?
No, it's probably just the steamed up because of. We like hiking,
Yes.
but to be honest,
It's a long hike. This.
we've had enough of just hiking. But
It's cold.
all right,
Right.
love to you all.
Yeah, it's good to see you all. Thank you all for joining us.
Take care, and we'll do another live stream in the next day or so.
Yes.
Promise.
Bye.
Bye.